know, you guys should come down here. The book festival's coming, book festival's coming, book festival's coming. I mean, what better way? It's free. You don't have to spend a penny. You can sit here and listen to authors, you know, read from their books and talk about their books. And you can walk around here and your kids can, you know, sit around and paint and go out and see books. You can buy books here for children that you can't buy in your city. Done by Latinos for Latinos. And there's so much, as soon as you open a book, I read a book the other day called Germs. Has anybody ever heard of that book? Germs, has anybody written it? Written by Judith Miller, Stephen Engelberg, and Michael Bough. B-O-U-G-H, Miguel Bough, Michael Bough. Michael and Stephen and Judith got together. They're 4 Pulitzer Prize winning journalists. 2 of them work for the New York Times, and 1 of them works for the Oregonian. Not only works for it, he's the chief editor of the Oregonian. He runs the paper, okay? They sat around, and because Judith opened the envelope at the New York Times that had anthrax in it, she was the one who opened the letter. So boom, se espantó. You know, she had to be rushed to the doctor, the hospital, and she was taken care of, and thank God she lived. She was angry. So she started to read about it and started to get into it, and she started to investigate germ warfare. Well, you got to read this book, and I don't mean to tell you to read it because, quote unquote, it'll scare you. It'll prepare you for the road that our country and this planet is going in. That's much more important than to scare you into feeling fear. It's more to inform you and educate you so that you will understand what's in the future of your life and your children. Very important book, and nobody's read it. If more people had read that book, more people would be right now understanding where we're going and how we should get there right now. What is for me to decide is my understanding of what the future has in store. And books are incredible. They're the gateway to an understanding that is profound. Anybody, once you learn how to read, you start acquiring, you can go pick up a book and acquire knowledge. True knowledge. And you can go back 500 years and find books that were written 400 or 500 years ago and read them, and they're like diamonds, finding wealth like you could never believe. And they're written in English, and they're written in Spanish, and they're written in all the languages of the world. How many of you have read Don Quixote? The first one is the Bible, but the second most read book in the world is Don Quixote by Cervantes. And I'll tell you right now, that book, what a journey. Can you imagine that was written in 1634? Read that book and tell me that you can't relate to it today and the values that it has. And it was written in 1634 by a Latino. And it's the second most read book in the world. Let's hear it for Cervantes. So we come in Caucasian, we come in African, we come in Asian, we come in indigenous, we come in mezclado. You can't tell who's Latino sitting in this room right now, and you know it. When you least expect it, the person sitting next to you is a Latino. And you don't even know it because se parece muy güero or muy asiático, you know? But it basically, like one of the greatest jokes I ever heard was Paul Rodriguez when he says, do you know why we have, you know, Asian Latinos and African Latinos and Caucasian Latinos and indigenous Latinos? Do you guys know why? Because Latinos make love with everybody. It's true, man. We ain't discriminatory, man. We love the world. It's Jose Galvez. And Jose is right there, right in the back, Vatos. That's his book right there. That's his new book. And his book is phenomenal, all right? And he's a brilliant artist. And let me tell you, this is what's great about I mean, I can't imagine what people thought when they opened this book up, man. Can you imagine opening this book and you're seeing a book about Latinos and bingo? Okay? Latinos, bingo. If you can't see what that is, that's a whole bunch of Argentinians. It's a family of Argentinians that live in the United States, all right? There's Asian Latinos in here. There are Caucasian Latinos in here. There are African Latinos in here. Indigenous Latinos. Mezclados, like me. I'm a mezclado. Boy, am I ever a mezclado. I'm a mixture that you wouldn't believe. I'm not kidding you, man. Porque yo soy Chicano. 100% Chicano, right? Very proud of it. You gotta be more Mexican than the Mexican, right? You gotta be more American than the American. You gotta be able to speak Spanish better than the Mexican. You gotta be able to speak English better than the American. You gotta be able to eat American food, which is way too bland. But yet when you eat Mexican food, you get the runs. And I'll tell you right now, man, there's no way you can tell me that you can run anywhere when you got the runs. I don't know who called him that, man. You can't even move. Ay, llévame al baño, rápido. You can't run. No es cierto, señor. Se te escurre todo. Se te va por una pierna los dos. Ay, 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 ay. No, Montezuma's revenge. That's what they call it. Yeah, right. It's just bacteria. We're not used to the bacteria because I've gotten that in Louisiana. I go to Louisiana, I go someplace where I'm not used to the water, I'm not used to the bacteria in the fucking American. And being Mexican is incredible, all right? It's incredible. Why is it so incredible? It's because I am half indigenous and half European. There's no way that you can have, before the Spaniards came here, there were no Mexicans. There were never any Mexicans. The only Mexicans that there were the Mexica and the Azteca, but they were not called Mexican. They were called Mexica. They were called Azteca, Maya, Olmeca, Yaqui, Arapaho, Cheyenne, Apache, but there were no Mexicans. Not until the Spaniards came over. There were thousands of years people had been here. I mean, those guys came over here and they said, we're discovering the world. We've been here for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. My direct descendancy, okay, the direct people that I have come from, all right? I love my grandparents. I love my parents, but I love my grandparents more. But I was raised with my great-grandparents, okay? My great-grandparents raised me. Ooh. Wisdom, olvídalo. Olvídelo. Lo que saben los bisabuelos no lo saben los abuelos ni los papás. Porque ellos conocen algo. Most recently I got an award. I got an award, one of the most prestigious humanitarian awards I've ever received. Given to me by the oldest civil rights organization in the United States of America. And along with me was Wilma Mankiller from the Cherokee Nation. She's the chief of the Cherokee Nation. Okay, I was the last one to speak. I wept, okay? Yo me pongo muy... Olvídelo. I don't care anymore, okay? When I have human emotion and I want to get it through, I don't care anymore. If it causes tears to my eyes and I start crying, I don't care about crying in front of you. And I was crying because I was saying that it was so sad that we had these moments, that we had to have civil rights moments still today, that we still had to have diversity and affirmative action, that we still had to have it, and people are starting to take it away from us, and we know that we can't let them do that. At the same time, why do we have it? Why do we need it? My God, why do we have a Latino book festival? Why do we have to do this? And I'm saying this, okay? And I'm there, and there are thousands of people, and all of these people have received their awards, and I'm receiving mine, and I'm crying. Okay, I finished, and I'm telling them, like I just told you right now, I am African first. I am not going to regret, I am not going to lose respect for myself and think that my family who sacrificed themselves and walking millions of years ago from Africa through Asia and Europe, finally walking across the Bering Strait through the Siberian desert and the cold and all the elements, and came across here and then populated this hemisphere, and then finally I come out in 1947. I'm not going to pay homage to those people. They're my direct descendants. They're the people who made me, my grandparents. So I'm not going to let my people who came, my direct fathers and mothers who came from Africa, not think that I forgot about them. And I don't bring, because they're too black or they come from Africa and I'm from the Americas and all, but you know, we were here. And indigenous, you know what Wilma Mankiller did when I got off the stage? She looked at me and she says, Eddie, you got to come and talk to my nation. You have to come and talk, because we can't talk like that. We can't talk like this. Our mythology does not allow us to discuss this issue, that we come from Asia. Indigenous people do not accept the fact. They think that's a white man's theory, that we come from Asia? I don't think so. White people don't even like to. White people still think that Jesus is white. There are Christians in this audience today who keep on forgetting that Jesus was a Jew. Born a Jew, lived a Jew, and died a Jew, never stopped being a Jew. He never was a Christian. If you're anti-Semitic, be careful, you're gonna get to heaven, there's gonna be a Jew going, hi. Come on up. And the guy looks more African than he looks European. He was born 2,000 years ago in Bethlehem, which is deep in the Mediterranean. I'll tell you this right now. I, for one, will never forget where I come from, because it makes me everything that I am today. I will never forget that I come from my Maya, Olmeca, Azteca, Yaqui root, ever. I'll never forget that that same root came from Asia. And that thousands of years before that, they came from Africa. Nunca. I will not forget any of my relatives, because they sacrificed and suffered their life so that I could be standing here today in Phoenix, Arizona at the book festival. But they don't teach us this in school. Matter of fact, in our schools here in this country, right now, they give us a one-course diet. Every child in this, how many of you went to school in this country? Boom. How many of you went through grammar school and all the way through high school in this country? Boom. Guess what? Every single one of you has the exact same diet given to you that was given to me. That diet consists of 97 to 98% European American studies. From the first grade through the 12th grade, we learned how wonderful it was that the European Americans came here and what they did for this country in the last 400 years. 97 to 98%. If I gave this kid, he's 7 years old, if I gave him a diet, any vitamin, I'll use vitamins. If I gave him una vitamina, cualquiera, vitamin A, or vitamin B, or vitamin C, or vitamin E. I gave him any one of those vitamins, okay? But that's the only vitamin I gave him. From the age of 5 in the first grade till the age of 18 in high school, that's the only vitamin I gave him. And I never gave him a multivitamin. I only gave him one course diet. From the first grade through the 12th grade, would this kid be in good health when he reaches 18? He'd be dead. You would be dead. I know he'd be scared. Look at him. Pobrecito. Dice, ¿qué está pasando aquí? Mijito, you are given with the elements that you've been given to eat. You know, the oranges and the apples, the potato chips, and then they give you menudo, and then they give you frijolitos, arroz, they give you corn tortillas. You like tortillas? I like them too. You like arroz? Yeah, I like it too. ¿Te gusta frijoles? Yeah. ¿Por qué puedes entenderme? ¿Hablas los dos idiomas? Boy, you're the reason we have a lot of hope, okay? Bilingual people are much more dangerous than monolinguistic people. You wonder why it has come to the point of where our children are dropping out of school at a faster rate than any other group. An Asian race, or an African race, or an indigenous race. There is no such thing as a Latino or any of those races. There's only one race, ladies and gentlemen. That's the human race. Inside of the human race, there are beautiful cultures. I love you. I love you all. Thank you for making this a very successful Latino Book Festival in Phoenix, Arizona. I love you all. God bless you. Thank you.
Hey, Miguelón. I'm proud of you, man. No, yo también, gracias.
Gracias a ti, mano, por todo lo que has hecho para nosotros, cara.
No, si estamos empezando.
Nos pones en un nivel increíble.
Citizenship, right?
No,
Who was it that?
Eddie Oropesa.
Oh.
Nada. It's always good to support, especially good events like this one. And he has a strong message to say, and he does it with all the character that is with him, and giving people orientation, especially about our roots, like he does. With that type of mentality, he does. He makes it funny, he makes it interesting, and besides that, he telling people the roots without going over their belief. He always leaves an open window for them to create their own opinion after he's done, and that's the best way to do it.
What do you enjoy most? You worked on it last fall, so it should be this time.
I believe that writing is
Sometime this year that it'll be in English.
one of the most powerful weapons in the world. It's like you can
There you go.
punch the wall of ignorance in people's minds and make them see, beyond their imagination. When a person have the ability to know how to read and write, and they get to see a word that any other man in the other side of the world has seen, and that's what makes us so important as humans. We can interact with each other, we can share each other's ideas and each other's wisdom.
Thank you. I know you've got a line here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
There you go.